Previously on Balls.
Shakes!
Hey, Neal, how are you, my man?
Shakes, great to have you on air, mate. Shakes Kangwani, for those mad people that don't know, great football analyst, full of fun, full
One
of
the greatest passes in South African soccer. He was a great passer, yeah.
There we are, Shakes. That's my producer. Comfort Kesra says
you were... Are you guys sucking up on me now?
Comfort Kesra says you were a great passer of the ball. And that's all we need to know about your football career, Shakes. Shakes, earlier in the week, I made the huge mistake of saying on Twitter that I thought that SAFA changing the constitution to allow a club owner, i.e. Ivan Koza, to become president of SAFA might be a bit of a mistake, that he already had enough jobs running the PSL, running Orlando Pirates. There was talk of him running Sascock last year, and you know, I retweeted a BBC piece written during the World Cup that listed all the things that Ivan Koza shouldn't do. But you came out as an Amakosi, as I understand it, very strongly in support of Ivan Koza running SAFA and becoming president. Can you elaborate on that for me, Shakes? Tell me why you think Ivan Koza should be running SAFA and how it might benefit the game in South Africa.
Well, for me, Neal, to be honest with you, the mere fact that you remember the elections the last time,
yes,
where a candidate like Nema Tandani took over because of him and Denny Jordan couldn't contest, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, that was when I saw that an opportunity for these new guys. Are they called TFT or EFT or EFF? Yeah. You'll never know. What happened? They took over. What happened? At the moment, they're fighting amongst each other. The regions are not happy with them. Ivan out. And as you could see, they want Ivan to be back. And most of the regions want Ivan Koza to be back. So it tells you about the pedigree of a man. We could do anything. I mean, a country like us, with about 55 million citizens, excluding most foreigners that are South Africans now.
Yeah.
We can't even hire a private jet to go and play to Cameroon. Our players had to be subjected to that. That also shows leadership. And I always believe if you have money, there's no corruption in it. I mean, if a guy like him, he's loaded, we know that.
Yeah.
And to run our league, and look at the sponsorship that has left SAFA. When Ivan was there, SAFA didn't have a problem with cash flow and everything. And the players were even paid in cash. The staff at SAFA at the moment, some of them don't even know they got paid yesterday.
No, exactly.
Hopefully he could sort that.
Shakes, I know that during AFCON, a couple of the players hadn't been paid for the Malawi game, which was a good couple of weeks before AFCON started. And only after the win against Angola during AFCON did the medical staff get paid and a couple of the players that weren't in the squad. And it's been pretty hectic at SAFA. It appears to me that despite announcing this week that they made a profit at AFCON, only a 3.6 million rand profit, by the way, it seems to me that SAFA are, like you say, not doing very well financially. They're losing sponsors. And you believe that Ivan Koza can take this and turn it around and can make SAFA as financially well off as the PSL. Is that your feeling?
It's never had in any world in any country in the world that the league is more powerful than the organization itself. I mean, our LFA, our SAFA, they could also go and beg money at the PSL. That's how huge the PSL is, because he went in there. Look at last week we just had the Carling Cup Black Label. It was a success. They've got the teams they have more sponsorship than SAFA itself. So look at I don't buy the thing that soccer players must run SAFA. For me, we from a football background, then to all of a sudden change into a suit and be a CEO of SAFA. Imagine me being a CEO of SAFA. That would be shambles, mate.
But I don't know.
We tend to look at Kalusha Bala and everybody says, and Michael Platini, and we will never do that. What we can do, we could have always start get involved in terms of our own LFAs in our townships, get involved there. But to say former players must start running football, I mean, for me, that's a joke.
It's just that it does. Well, you've just explained why that argument would come up because of Mr. Bawalya in Zambia and Mr. Platini in Europe, ex-footballers highly ranked. I know that Lucas Radebe has said. He said to me about 4 or 5 months ago, look, they keep saying they're going to have meetings with me about a position at SAFA and me getting involved in football, and then nothing ever happens. So that, you've got me from a kind of an outside position looking at it and thinking, blimey, if someone like Lucas Radebe, Bradley Carnell, even Philemon Masinga got involved, then we'd have nice names out there, people that are respected for their football like you are. Whereas Irving Koza, to me, had no great football background. He took over Orlando Pirates in 1991 in circumstances that I still can't really get to the bottom of. And so I'm a little bit kind of wary about him. But you can assure me that Irving Koza will be good news for SAFA and that I don't have to worry. Is that right?
Look, Neal, you have to worry because it's well documented about the SAFA shambles. Obviously, you'll have to come in there and sort out all that mess, but not forgetting that you are stepped at the back. Hopefully, he's not bitter about it. Hopefully, he'll be looking forward to it. I'm not saying this because he's from Alex, where I come from.
You're from Alex,
but
are you?
I've done my research for him. At the age of 15, he was the secretary of a league in Alex. So you can imagine that's in his blood. And hopefully things will change and the staff at SAFA, the morale will be high and people will get paid in time. Players will get paid in time. He'll make sure the sponsorship are there. The Mercedes-Benzes that they're driving is because of him also. Let's not forget. Most of the sponsorship that he got in there, as soon as he left, all vanished. And you could see they could always come back.
Yeah, sure, Shakes. And what do you think about Orlando Pirates' trip? What do we think about Orlando Pirates' trip to Egypt at the weekend? They're playing in this Red Sea resort of Al Ghura and going up there at a time when the country is in turmoil. How do you feel about Orlando Pirates and their chances of emerging from Group A of the African Champions League with the two big Egyptian sides to take on?
Well, for me, it's game on. It's advantage Orlando Pirates. Let's not forget it's a month of Ramadan, and also the what's happening in that country at the moment. I think, and let's not also forget they'll be playing in an empty stadium. So everything goes well for Orlando Pirates in terms of it wouldn't be a bad result, Neal, if they come up with a point. Honestly speaking, they're playing against one of the biggest teams in Africa, even the one of their with a rich history. For me to get a point out of that heat. Especially the game was changed from 8:30 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. The heat in Egypt, and they're playing next to the sea resort, obviously, with all your humidity and the altitude. I don't think there will be a problem for Paris players as long as they don't use that black jersey. They must try and use because the black attracts heat very quickly.
Absolutely, but I've actually I've been to Sharm El Sheikh, which is just down the road from where they're playing. It's just across the Red Sea, the little finger of the Red Sea there. It gets like 45 degrees. It makes Johannesburg in summer seem like quite cool, and of course that whole region.
That won't be bearable, yeah.
It's going to be immense heat, but of course the opposition are playing it during Ramadan, and some of them are fasting. Some of them have actually excused themselves from fasting for medical reasons. But it's got to be the best time possible to play Al Ahly, hasn't it? When Egypt are in turmoil, Ramadan's on. There's got to be a good chance of getting a result out of a very, very good side.
A good result for me, honestly, if I've seen Paris for a couple of 2 games that I've seen them play, I think with the little bit of the morale there, you could see there's a little bit of hunger, but I don't think they've gelled yet, especially to compete at that highest level. But a point for me, I think would be a fair and a good result for Roger.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I hardly need to ask you what you think will happen on Friday night at the Mbombela Stadium when the PSL's big kickoff takes place between double-winning Kaizer Chiefs and their first foreign coach ever to win in his first season, the PSL. Stuart Baxter takes on my friend Clive Barker's Mpumalanga Black Aces. What is your verdict on that, Shakes?
Wow, that's a massive game for Kaizer Chiefs. Let's not forget, ACs have also signed about 18 players.
Yeah,
which of those 18 players they've signed? Firstly, what Siwaka from Chipa United. Yeah. They've got Calvin Marlin from Sundowns. They've got Mwanjali at the back. They're stabilizing at the back. It's going to be a very difficult game for Chiefs. But unfortunately, ACs haven't had a team that could say, this is our starting 11, this is how we could play against Chiefs. Players that are signed by Aces at the moment are players that nobody wanted them. They want to go out and prove a point. Let's not forget, Neal, it's a night game. Chiefs are using their new golf shirts.
Yep.
They're going to be nice and cool tomorrow and probably hammer them about 3-4.
Did you say their new golf shirts? Yeah, listen.
Those T-shirts look very nice.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. They're lovely shirts. And then we go on to, are there any other particular... I went through with Joe Cran from Laduma. I went through some of the signings and some... it's almost, to me, there's been so many signings made during this transfer window. It's been a really vibrant and exciting transfer window in South Africa for once. Is there any other side you'd pick out that I need to go, oh, blimey, I forgot all about them? We're looking at Witzer at Platinum Stars. Swallows aren't playing this weekend. Amatux, they're not a bad side. Oh, sorry, we've got Swallows Amatux, haven't we, on Saturday? That's going to be one of the games.
Yeah.
And Supersport United was the one that Joe picked out against Free State Stars this weekend. What do you think? Who's the big surprise package for you?
Well, for me, it's going to be different this season at Supersport, the kind of brand of football they want to display and play. We could see the kind of players they've signed. At the moment, they're speaking to Kama Billiard. It shows the hunger and of wanting to win things this season. Let's not forget also, Nelly, it's who you buy. It's not a matter of buying. It's a matter of how you buy. Some teams buy wisely. Other teams start a new, like a team like Sundowns, they've gone out and bought a new team. A team like Aces, they've gone out and bought a new team. It's going to be difficult. It will take them a month or two to realize that if these players can combine and play against with each other. Yeah. By then, you have lost the first Q. Let's not forget the Q innovations is back. And also, let's not forget that if a coach loses 3 games in a row, he's gone, my friend. Yeah. He's gone, Baba. Absolutely. He's gone. And, hopefully we'll never also see negative football. I mean, most of our stats is more of throw-ins or the ball keep inside and players having fun and enjoying themselves.
Absolutely.
That's what we need really to coaches are scared of losing. And for me, it gives the players also a negative mindset to say, hey, if I make a mistake, the coach is going to be on me, on top of me. But let's see good football, free-flowing. And why not one of our teams or one of our coaches in the country take out the starting lineup a day or two before, like they do in other countries? That won't happen in South Africa.
It won't happen here. I mean, I think I just spoke to Zika Marks. He's going to be speaking on my show later. He's got 3 good goalkeepers now. He's signed a Serbian keeper. He's got a Tafia, and he's still trying to decide between those 3 right now at training. You've got Clive Barker with his 18 new signings. And then what about Pitso Mosimane? Shakes, do you have an inside line on Pitso? He never picks up the phone to me. Have you got an inside line on Pitso Mosimane, something like 20 new signings? Is he going to be able to sort out this huge influx at Sundowns with all their money and produce a side capable of winning the title?
Exactly what we said earlier about former football players taking over at SAFA. Look at Sundowns. I mean, how many former Sundowns players are working there at the moment? And then what happens? Pitso Mosimane comes to Sundowns. Your Trot Muleto are taken out on the side. They've got their new team manager now, Peter Ndlovu. You could see there's a lot of not trusting each other there. There's a lot of backstabbing. And I've always believed in where there's a lot of money, there's going to be a lot of problems. I mean, the kind of players that he signed are the kind of players that he wanted. Now, here's the catch too. He goes and loses 2 games. He's going to be fired. He's going to be fired. And because he's the one who wanted these players, I think he's got a very good relationship with the president, and I feel he's been given a checkbook to say spend, but spend wisely. I think he spend wisely. He wants to win. He's not a loser. He wants to win something this year for Sundowns, and hopefully you could see the way they've taken the armband from Tiko Modise. It shows that things are beginning to shape. I mean, most of the players at Sundowns, they're waiting for month end to get their paycheck. That's it. Lays around, go through motions. I think Pitso came in there with his very strong hand. He hopefully will change things.
Mate, what a great summary of Mamelodi Sundowns, because I get so many Sundowns fans on asking me how they're going to play all these players and what's going to happen. Shakes, is there anything funny going on at Orlando Pirates where the Tlu Segelele new contract took ages to get signed and he had to miss the first game against Leopards because of it? And now we've got a host of players, like even Sia Sangweni's contract is coming towards an end. And Dila Jali, there's talk of him, not signing his new contract. Is there a problem at Pirates, or are they just kind of late in sorting this thing out, all these new contracts?
I think every big team, every big team has got its own problems, but they should happen internally. But to be honest with you, I think I was so fortunate last week to go and watch them train, and the body language you could see. I think there's something going on at Orlando Pirates. Is it the coach, or is it the technical team, or something? For me, there are players also there that I believe they think now they're bigger than the team, and for me. It hurts all the Pirates faithful who've been there supporting the team, and most of them would like to see the back of Roger. Unfortunately, you've got a contract that is still running, and hopefully, if I was Roger, I wouldn't mind to resign, because it also takes away his, to say, look, this is a big team. Am I doing everything right here? Is there people that set force, if you could say, that are telling him to do this, that, and that? I think if I was Roger, he's probably got two or three offers in the pipeline if he loses the Pirates job, because coaches in South Africa, he loses a job here, he gets another job in the next 2 weeks.
True.
That's why our football will be stagnant and say, you know what, we will always play the same football with one striker up front, with a lot of throwings and nothing entertaining.
Yeah. No. He's saying to me, I mean, I did speak to Roger. Roger's supposed to have come on earlier, and he confirmed 3 times, but I didn't get him. But he said to me last night that he generally plays with 3 strikers, but I don't quite see it that way. And I know that he's got problems with Collins and Basuma's weight, and he's been quite public about that. Are Orlando Pirates under Roger de Sá going to go anywhere, or are we going to have a parting of the ways at some point?
There's a difference between a big team and a team that's playing in that league or something. But look, it's a big team, Orlando Pirates. As much as we could sit here and argue about it, there's a brand of football that needs to be played by a big team like Orlando Pirates, with a star no-hal. It's even worse. Now, the supporters have been spoiled of winning things, winning cups and everything. All of a sudden, they look into the cabinet, there's nothing. They get frustrated. Chiefs are on the high. They have the bragging rights. Why do you think supporters will always go for the coach? Because they believe that they've got all the rights in the world to win something and have all the bragging rights. But unfortunately, our football now, it's not about, it's called modern football. It's how you get into the game and try and instill some discipline in certain areas, especially in the field of play. But unfortunately, players, the freedom of the players is gone. I mean, your Ace Manyesa, your Jali, your up front there, you've got Termas Erasmus. For me, they've got quite a good team. Do the players' mind still there, or do the players still want the coach or something? I hope so.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Shakes, as always, mate, it's always great to speak to you. I love your honesty. I love the way you put me right on Irving Koza and probably saved my life. I like the fact. I like the fact that you're backing. Who are you going to back for the PSL, mate? I'm guessing, but tell me who you think will win the PSL.
This new golf shirt of Chiefs.
Chiefs it is.
It's going to cause problems. I'll tell you why. At night it's nice and cool. In the afternoon also nice and cool. Don't forget, Chiefs won most of their games at night last season. They're playing their first game at night. Against who? A team that just got. Let's not also forget, when Chiefs are on top. If they win tomorrow, they're on top of the league.
Absolutely.
And you know what they do
for 24 hours.
When they're on top of the league, they stay there. But I don't see them. Retaining. Defending their title. It's going to be very hectic for them. Let's not forget they're in the CAF competition also. Let may the best team win the league this season.
Excellent, mate. That's probably the best. When there's been so many signings, that's kind of how I feel. I'm a bit reluctant until we've seen the first kind of PSL games in the first round of the MTNA. I'm a little bit reluctant to say, Wits are going to gel brilliantly. SuperSport have got all this. You have to stick with Chiefs until you see someone else kind of come out of the pack.
Yeah, man.
Great stuff, Shakes. We'll speak again, mate, when it starts to settle down. Great stuff, Shakes. Shakes Kungwani, guys.
Anytime, Neal. Bye.
Round of applause for Shakes. Shakes, absolutely brilliant, mate. You're always on spot. Thank you. So, Comfort. I'm worried about Orlando Pirates, mate. And I think Shakes was very honest there. Very, very good. Supporting Irving Koza for Safa, but saying that Roger de Sá, he needs to know at a big club you have to play a certain kind of football. And, Roger, tomorrow, mate, when the second half comes, you throw everything on up front. Sunday this is, against Al Ahly.
Yep.
Even against one of the great sides in Africa, Orlando Pirates fans will expect you to attack, expect you to come up with something quite extraordinary up front. Kermit Erasmus obviously cup-tied for that game, but he has got Lennox Bekele and he has got Collins and Basuma. He has got this lad Ndamiso Mabena, and he needs to come up with some goals, having not scored enough goals. Carling Cup.
I want to see what the combination up front, if he's going to play Mbesuma with Bakela or Bakela alone like he did at the previous game and the Carling Cup as well.
The Leopards game as well.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen up front.
I think Roger's a man under enormous pressure. But then all football managers are. I mean, look at what's happening everywhere.
This is Balls Visual Radio.